We often hear the term self-love on so many occasions. But could it be there are some underlying issues or roadblocks which hinder us from loving ourselves fully? So, on today's video, we are going to be talking about roadblocks to self-love, or rather, what are these things or issues that are hindering us from loving ourselves fully or completely. Hi ladies, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Gladys Wanjiru, and this channel is all about self-improvement on every aspect of our lives, all things self-love, self-care, also how to foster meaningful relationships with ourselves and others. So on today's video, we are going to be talking about roadblocks to self-love. What are these things or issues that hinder us from loving ourselves? Like, you really want to love yourself, but there seems to be a difficulty. You seem like you can't really do it. There's something blocking you from loving yourself. So with that being said, let's head and start this interesting topic that we are going to be talking about today. The number one roadblock to self-love is abuse. Abuse comes in different forms. It could be physical abuse, it could be sexual abuse, it could be psychological abuse. Another thing about abuse is that it comes from people who are well trusted or well known to us. These people could be people like our parents, maybe our teachers in school, or maybe our partners in life. And so individuals who face abuse often have feelings of shame, guilt, they're kind of withdrawn, and this really affects them to a point where they don't want even to seek help. So let's take a look at an example where you grew up with an abusive parent. You were growing up with your parent and you did not really perform well in school, and so they use phrases such as, you will never amount to anything, why are you not like your brother, why are you always failing, do you know it will be so hard for you to do well in life if you're failing in school, and things like that. Another thing about still abuse is when you go back to school now, the teachers, they give us exams and you're supposed to pass those exams. And so when you fail the exams, so the teacher will be like, why are you failing? Do you know the world outside you need to perform well in school, and those kind of things? Do you know it will be hard for you when you go outside with these low grades and things like that? And so when you are growing up, you're taking these things with you and they're affecting your adult life. Like, they are really affecting your adult life where you're not even showing up for yourself. They're even prohibiting you from loving yourself. Another example still on abuse is an abusive partner. So let's say you have an abusive partner. He beats you up, he's abusive, name calling, the yelling, the disrespect, is so aggressive. You're not supposed to talk. You're supposed only to take instructions. Even if you have an idea of something, you can't voice it. You're just so scared. Like, you're not supposed to be talking, you're just supposed to be taking instructions. So going back now to when you were growing up, maybe you saw your dad beating your mom in front of you, abusing your mom, and then your mom never left. She stayed in the name of, maybe this, my husband will change for the kids. Let me stay for the kids. Let me stay because I don't have anything for myself. He's the one providing. Let me stay. Maybe this man, this my husband, this the father of my kids will change for us. And your mom forgot that nobody really can change for you. People change for themselves, but you can't really blame her because that's what she knew. But then come back now to you, now where you're facing this abusive relationship or this abusive partner. You grew up seeing your mom never leaving, so all you know is that you're supposed to endure. You're supposed to hope someday someone will stop acting the way they are acting. And this can be dangerous because it can stop you from ever loving yourself. Another roadblock to self-love is comparison. Comparisons can come out of an innocent observation. But then when it becomes habitual, when you're often looking at another person, I always use an example of looking at your age mates. because there will always be your age mate who is doing pretty well in life compared to where you are. There will always be someone. It will not be even your age mate. It could be someone who's even younger than you, who is way ahead in life than you. But when you do this, when you're often comparing yourself with their journey, it will always awaken your inner self-critic, where you're seeing yourself as a failure, you're stagnant, you're not doing anything valuable with your life, and all those kinds of negative things, which really act as a roadblock to self-love or your self-love journey, because you cannot really love yourself when you're always in this level of comparing yourself or your life with another person. Because the more you keep on comparing, the more it's gonna be negative, and the more you're not gonna be focusing on yourself. Instead, you're going to be beating yourself up, and there is no room for you to love yourself when you keep on doing that. Another roadblock to self-love is lack of boundaries. You know the saying, if you stand for nothing, you fall for anything. How many of you agree with that quote or phrase? According to me, I just agree with it 100%. I just live with that, because if you do not have boundaries, if you do not have rules, boundaries, it's just a block, it's just a wall you are creating to protect yourself. It's not being selfish, because we often confuse boundaries with being selfish. You're not being selfish, you're just trying to protect yourself. Because when you have boundaries, you're just basically telling someone or people of what you will allow and what you will not allow. You're just, for example, telling someone, you cannot come to my house at 2 a.m. and knock at my door and expect me to come and talk to you or to open the door for you. You're supposed to call me prior. You're supposed to tell me prior you show up, even at a time like that. But when you do not have boundaries, you are always okay with anything. Everything is okay for you. And then, when you don't have boundaries, people know you don't have boundaries. You even hear people saying, just call her, she will come. Just tell her, she's gonna be okay with it. Or just give that work to her. Even if she's busy, she's gonna do your work. Just ask her for the money. She's gonna give it to you, even if she's not really doing well at this time. People will always know when you have loose boundaries or you have even no boundaries at all. And this can be very bad, because when you don't have boundaries, it just basically means you don't love yourself. Because when you have boundaries, it shows that you love yourself, that you respect yourself, and also it shows that you also can respect another person who has boundaries. Because this is basically just protecting yourself, and it's not like you're being selfish, you're just trying to protect yourself. Because takers, they do not have limits. People are gonna be coming to you. Let's use an example of a doormat. Like a doormat, any person who's coming there with their dust, they can just dust off their feet in that doormat. Another person can come and it carries a lot of dust, and it becomes so messy, and it's different people coming, because it's a doormat, because it's there for people to come and leave the dirt and all those things there. Because in the house, maybe you'll find a carpet, a nice beautiful carpet that even the owner of the house is like, no, don't step on this carpet with your dusty shoes, go there and clean your legs, you will not mess my carpet. You see, now there is a difference, because that's a doormat, that's what the doormat is allowing. Now when you come inside, there is this beautiful carpet that you're not supposed to just be coming, and now you know that you cannot just go there to step on the carpet just like that. So when you lack boundaries, it just basically means that you do not really love yourself. But we can always set these boundaries, because you can always learn, you can always check yourself where you're not really moving how you're supposed to be moving. Because when you set healthy boundaries, you are really gonna love yourself. It's not gonna be easy, but it's gonna be worth it. You're just gonna be taking the baby steps, and you're gonna find yourself in that beautiful place where you're really loving and respecting yourself, or your self-love journey. Another roadblock to self-love is perfectionism. For me, I think perfectionism is you trying not to make mistakes. Correct me if I'm wrong, and also let me know what perfectionism is for you down on the comment section below. Because perfectionism, how I see it, is you don't want to make mistakes. You are basically playing it safe. Like, you don't want to start maybe a small business, you're afraid it will fail. You just want to take the easy route. You want to always appear perfect in everything you do, forgetting that you're human. And the most beautiful thing about failing is that you learn from it, and next time you do much better. From now, you're doing it from experience. Now you know what not to do and what to do. And so when you always want to come out as perfect, you don't want to leave any room for error, any room for correction. It's really hard to love yourself. It's gonna be hard, because any mistake that you might do, it will be a mistake to beat yourself up, of you saying that, or even you having that mentality of you are not enough, you are not worthy of love. Why didn't I show up there as perfect? Why didn't I look my best? Why didn't I do this and that? You basically beating yourself up. And when you're doing that, there is no room for you to love yourself. Another roadblock to self-love is people pleasing. Well, this is actually a huge problem, or a huge roadblock to self-love, because people pleasing is just basically putting other people's needs first before yours. I am basically not saying you are supposed to be selfish, or you're supposed only to think about yourself, but when you're this person who's always last on your own list, other people's needs come first before yours, you cannot really love yourself, because you're always there to save another person. You're always there to keep other people's warm. You're always there setting yourself on fire just to keep other people's warm. You're always trying to fill other people's cup while leaving yours running dry, because take a look at this. We give what we have. And so when you're not tending to your own needs, when you're not filling your own cup, taking what you need to nurture yourself, fill your own cup until it overflows, so that even when you're giving out of a space of love. You're not giving out of a space of need, of emptiness, like, I'm gonna do this thing for her or him, and then you're keeping scores, and then you're like, next time I'm gonna go to them, let me see if they're gonna come through for me. I came through for them. Now you're doing something for them because you're expecting something in return, or even you're doing something for other people because you don't want rejection, you don't want them to hate you, or you don't want to appear as a bad person. You want to be this nice person, this nice girl who's always okay with anything, this nice girl who would literally crumble her own peace of mind, her own home, just to go and fix another person's situation. So when hers, it's just so messy. Sometimes you don't even know you are a people pleaser. Sometimes it's hard. For some people, it's hard to know they are people pleasers. Some, they actually don't know that what they are doing is way too much, because it's leaving them in a space of emptiness. And so when you're doing this, it will really affect how you see yourself, how you love yourself, because you are running empty, girl. You are running empty, and it's not nice. And you cannot really love yourself when you're in that people-pleasing phase in your life. It's just not possible. And that was it for today's video, guys. I really hope this video was helpful. Also, these are not the only self-love barriers we have, or roadblocks that we have to self-love. If you have come across any roadblock or barrier to self-love, or identified any roadblock to self-love, feel free to keep this conversation going down on the comment section below. Also, I want to thank you so much for taking time to watch my videos. It really means a lot, and I love doing this. Also, if you have not subscribed to my channel, go ahead, subscribe right now. Let me give you 2 minutes. Yes, thank you so much. Subscribe to my channel. Also, click on that notification bell. That will help you not to miss any video I do upload. Until next week, guys, thank you so much. Bye bye.